We're like the this is the hobbyist podcast / stream. We don't have enough time to work on our infrastructure. Look at that tiny hat.
Why does it go green screen? Stupid.
Robbie's beating the system.
Robbie's drunk on his Mountain Dew. He's jacked on Mountain Dew.
He's jacked on Mountain Dew.
Come at you like a spider monkey.
What are you going to say, Robbie? When day are we going to do the Robbie Sack show?
I have to figure out what night will be good for me.
How about tonight? Not tonight, but like Saturday nights, like before this.
That'll work.
Or after this, or just roll it into it afterwards. Well, no, we got STS guys.
What's before us usually? Anything?
Nothing.
Okay, let's
also,
do.
If we rolled into it, we probably would just keep talking to our guest.
We'll just show up. We'll just show up and just change the furniture real quick.
Yeah.
Get that blanket out of the way, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
Oh, Burley's here. Jason, welcome.
What's up, Jason?
Nice to see you. I haven't talked to you in like 10 minutes.
Oh, they can hear us?
They can hear us.
Yeah.
So what you got, when you were sitting there telling
we should be live right now. We're like, this is just a really horrible show. Chris, I'm sorry, Priscilla. You deserve better than this. I'm sorry. So hold on. Let's.
No, this is perfect. It's like radio.
That's it. Yeah, we do have faces for radio, so we shouldn't be doing this. So.
Speak for yourself, sir.
Hey, whatever. You know what I'm saying. Everybody misses the video channel. Hey, everybody, welcome to Geek Together, another artist series evening. Really excited about it. We've been looking forward to this conversation for a while, and couldn't have been at a better time. You have so much going on, so I'm really excited to talk about it. First, your host, Damien, and with me as always,
Christina,
Robbie,
and Clint.
And joining us is Priscilla, or Valor and Vellum, who I've known for years in the Fanatic community. This is Valor and Vellum, way starting out making avatars on the forums. I think it's how I got exposed to you in the first place. All the way to now, where you're doing designer toys and backpacks and lanyards and everything. It's crazy. So welcome. Glad you made it.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And I was on your stream earlier today. So I know you had quite the mail call today, a lot of different things, watching you open up some designer toys. So you've branched out from Funko and everything as well, like all of us have. We've taken any money we could possibly have and given it to somebody else. So
Amen to that.
Sort of what we do. So we'll kick it right off because we tend to run out of time in the conversations, but we want to start off with show us something cool you got this week. And so who do we want to start with today? Clint?
We can start with me, sure.
Yeah, start with Clint.
All right. Well, this kind of goes full circle all the way from Priscilla's stream in a sense, but the cool thing I got this week is who I'm naming Bubbles, but it is the Kaiju Galaxy colorway.
You get one of those a week, right?
I do not get one a week. No, I do not. No.
You do.
I do not.
I
didn't win one this week.
I think Jason, is that the payment of a mod? Because I'll mod.
Like I'll mod twice.
I'll double mod. I'll do it for half a kaiju. Like you can just give me half of one.
Whatever.
You don't need Clint. Like I could do it.
You don't have to give me one every week. I'm not that greedy.
Robbie will mod for you. You get one a month. That's fine. Like we can.
That's nice too. But anyway,
we can bid this way down.
I love this guy. He came out.
That's pretty
great.
Cool.
These are always better in person. So do your chance to win one Thursday nights, 5:00 Pacific time. Barely available on Twitch.
Clint let me win one. I was able to win one. He was nice enough to me to let me get one.
Make sure you're clear. It's win the chance to buy. You don't win there yet.
That's a good point.
Make sure you're clear on that.
Chance to buy. I mean, that's basically winning. I mean, nobody else gets to buy that 101. So yeah.
That's true.
You're absolutely right.
I just want one chance.
I keep trying to help you, Priscilla. I really do. I sit there on my screen. I'm like, come on, Priscilla. Come on. And then you don't win.
It's not working.
You're right. I need a new method.
What you need to do is change your name temporarily to Clint Crockett or something like that.
If whatever works.
Very cool mail call. That's a good one. That's a beautiful one. I like
I have not at all set.
I'm gonna go to the stream this week. I'm hoping next week I can have that cool mail call as well.
And just for the record, I'm the mod. I am not the person in charge of the giveaway, so I have no influence on them at all.
I don't know that runs.
None.
And then he says to talk to you about getting it. So
He's wrong because I do not have the
He
passwords. I
says
do not
that.
have
That's what I heard. I mean, so I don't know. Seems like there's a gateway there.
until he gives me the password. I have no
I'm just
access. So
I'm just kidding with you.
Until
I mean, once he gives me the password, all bets are off, and I will win every week. But until then,
We'll start entering with Ava collects.
that's right.
Throw people
Oh,
off.
I'll be back. I gotta
All
check
right.
a new Twitch
All right,
account.
Robbie. What do you got? More soda?
No, so well, I did
Oh,
get soda
cool.
this week. But
I was gonna say no soda my ass.
I'm just saying no soda bullshit.
I got in. I forgot I submitted these to CGC a while ago.
Oh,
But I got some comics back in.
Ooh.
nice gradient there.
Batman,
Wow.
The Red Death. These I actually gave one of these to Damien for his
Yep.
birthday a few years ago.
Awesome. Yeah.
This cover is foil on
Mhm.
it, so most of these don't come
Getting
back.
9.8 with foil
With
is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a really good grade for a foil cover on there. And then the other one that came back
Super cool, Chuck. I'm a mod. I'm sure you are.
is this Dark Knight's Metal Wonder Woman.
Wow.
9.8 is less than 10, Chuck. That's
So-
true.
And this one's a 9.8 as well.
They don't give 10s out. They don't just give
So-
them, you know?
Nope.
Do they give 9
No.
9s out, or is 9 8 usually the highest you see? They
Yeah.
do. Okay.
9.9 and 10 are the highest
All right, but
ones you can get. But 9.8 is pretty good. I mean, that's
damn good.
most-
Yeah.
most
Realistically,
uncommon.
they don't really give out a whole lot of tens. do
I was
they?
Yeah, I
gonna
don't
say
see
the
a lot
10
of
would have to
10s.
be like giving it to them straight off the line once it's
Even
printed.
then, it's
And
paper.
even then,
like,
Right.
and
Right.
anything can happen during
Right.
manufacturing.
Right.
I wonder how many they get that they damage. And then they like.
Most.
They,
Oh,
Oh, you mean the
Wondering.
grading? The grading.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Cutie.
yeah. I mean, come on. It has to happen. There's got to be like an intern there. Like Robbie got his first
Intern.
job at CGC. He's getting a bunch of comics in and he just falls on the ground once, like, oh shit.
I want to know what the lowest they give. I want to give them like something
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
like,
What's the chain of custodianship to be like? And then they're like, that's how you sent it to us, Robbie. I don't know what you're talking about. That's how we got
There
it.
you go.
Folded in half.
Manny, that's as open as it gets.
right at this point for sure. I want to send them something so they're like, this is a 0.7. No, you can't get above that. Sorry. I don't even know what comic this is.
The
I
case
spent
is
a
two.
lot. Spent a lot of money on comics this week.
You did?
I ordered graded versions of every #1 Motu Revelations comic variant.
Oh, very cool.
So they're like, comics $2.75, or graded is like $80.
Well,
And
Happy
you did it in
birthday,
one
Pete.
year.
I'm hoping, well, since you said that, I'm hoping the birthday present I bought you isn't now a double.
I don't mind doubles.
So,
Dear Lord.
so you might have
And-
doubles of something.
And I stick
Damien.
to my plan of ruining all birthday presents possible.
God, I thought for sure I had something you wouldn't have. So, there's still a chance. There's still a chance.
So I didn't get every variant, I should say.
Okay.
I didn't get every one.
Okay, good. There's still-
Because I started
But you
doing the list.
definitely just spoiled a birthday surprise.
But
Yep.
yeah, I definitely did. I definitely went down the list though, and then realized how many there were. Jesus.
Yeah, the
A lot of
number ones
variants. I was
these
like,
days when
wow.
they do something are ridiculous.
You Motu fans are crazy, so it's not surprising.
Anyway, all right, cool. We'll talk about this rest of it. We got a lot to talk about. We're gonna have to speed this up. Sorry.
wait, someone's
Sorry,
saying
Robbie.
0.5?
What's that?
Yes,
Pretty much
0.5,
this.
Wow.
What?
and those are really old generally.
Well,
I would hope
so.
it's really old anyway.
Yeah.
It's not a new one.
It
that's
like
a
falls to
0.5.
dust.
It was actually a tissue
I have
somebody
seen
used and
0.5.
sent
It's
in.
like literally a cover without the comic in it.
Yeah,
And it's still worth a ton. Like of the old #1s, like if you had a Superman, like one page of it,
Yep.
you can get it graded and framed like that, and it'd
I
be
wonder
like
if you got a bunch of old, like of the same comic, and they were all in different, like varying conditions. If you could have them restored by putting them together.
yeah, but they'd mark that separately too because restored ruins
yeah,
it.
it's a different color. Like on this one, it's got blue up here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different color up here. If it's
Restored at all, yeah.
Right.
So there you can.
But
do
I
that.
mean, if you're taking like a bunch of like 2s and they end up being an 8, that's not really ruining it per se.
They won't
Is
end up
it?
being an A. That's not how it works.
Well, it depends on which
It's like high
pages
school.
you
You can't
got.
just add up a bunch.
They just smush them all together.
No,
Hey.
you would have somebody restore it. You do know that people can take things apart and put them back together.
Yeah.
No, it'd just be a
I know
2.5 plus a
you're saying, like, thinking
2.3
a
plus a
bunch, like, if somebody had,
2.7.
like if Robbie had the cover of Superman #1 and I had like pages 15 through 20 and somebody else had the rest of it and then we made it into one comic again. Is that what you're
Right.
saying?
Just say those
Something
together, you're
similar
good.
to that. Yes. But I mean, you could have full comics that have like one has a really trash cover, one had a couple pages ripped out, one has this, and then you could gather some that on their own would be really low grade.
But put it all
And then-
together, they add up
and
to
then
one
have
because it's
them
a more complete
restored.
version. Yeah.
And in better condition. Jeez,
Yes.
you make this sound like this is such a ridiculous concept.
I did not mean to offend.
First
Not where I was
grade
going with
joke.
I mean, I don't collect comics, so I don't know if people would do
Chuck.
it, but it seems like a good idea to me.
It probably is.
There's
Chuck's
somebody
gonna
out
get
there.
First graded Dahlia.
That's right. Nice. All right. Well, on that note, Christina, so how about you go?
I am going to break the rules and show a couple of things.
Oh no! Oh!
I'll sneak them in at the same time. Here you go.
I was kidding.
Nice. The dog, K9, and Jack.
Yep. This is actually a duplicate for me. The other one that I have is a color version, but it was missing this piece here.
Oh, it's missing it completely? Huh.
Yeah. That's how I got it.
Some prototypes like that, missing little things.
Is there like a hole there instead?
Yes.
It's just like a little connection point, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so this one came from Why? I was just talking to him earlier.
Mike from Talking Pops.
That's the one.
Nice.
Yes.
Love it.
Very nice.
I like the tail.
That, and then Damien surprised me with these lovely
Oh wow.
Nightmare Before Christmas protos. The last one is green, so it's not going to show
I like
up.
the Harley Quinn.
The last one looks like a deathly cute logo.
There you go. It's
How'd you get the see-through proto?
Wow.
it's the mermaid, mer person.
Very nice.
Yes. the
Damien, if
Harlequin
you ever
one.
want to surprise me with a proto, I wouldn't say no. I'm
Right?
just saying.
Well, Clint, I surprised
Pretty
my
awesome,
wife with
actually.
those, so you know.
just saying.
Are they polished? Oh, absolutely, they're polished. I can tell.
They
They're
look
definitely
pretty polished.
officially
to me.
polished.
Yep.
Thanks, Chuck. They came
See
from
the-
Robbie. Is that a problem?
Are you gonna?
I don't
pin him
know.
later
Robbie
this evening?
graded him himself.
Yep.
That's right. They're graded.
Yeah.
I
Everything
just
I
need to find
grade
a
is a
stand for
10.
this one because it doesn't want to. It
I
doesn't.
just love it though. You just gotta randomly hold it up and block your face just to
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it goes right through you. You know, it's like weird. It's a see-through past you.
At least you can see it.
Yeah. I mean, we know it's something.
Yep.
All right, well,
Like
I'll
the
go next. I
Predator
know
over here.
Priscilla, I saw her mail call. She got some pretty cool stuff today.
She
so
did.
maybe,
Yes.
I don't know if she has it readily available or not, but a whole box of box cats. All right, so I got a couple things here. I'm breaking the rules as well, but only two real quick. So I got this Quick Nanotech. It's a vinyl version of a double cast, if you will.
Mhm.
So it's got like a blue chrome inside, half and half. So it has like sort of a Jason Freeney kind of XX-ray kind of feel to it, which so I bought it and I like the white variant of it. And the other one is not mine actually. So I'm showing this off on behalf of Steph Hill, but only because I want to brag that I actually got a W
Ooh.
in my life recently on a very tight raffle. So I got
Yes,
this.
it was.
Oh, nice.
So this is really cool. And now that I have it in my hand and I open it up and I look at it,
Show the
it's
butt.
really hard for me to box it back up now.
You gotta show the butt.
Show the
Show
butt.
the
We
butt.
have a vinyl
Yeah, does it have
piece
the little
of it.
butthole?
Oh, of course
It does.
It's
Yeah.
amazing how much shit I got for buying the first one of these,
I didn't
and now
give
all
shit, dude.
you did. Like, look at that butt! You made so much fun of the little booty.
So this is the Pouncy. This is the fire.
He's just gonna go
Copy.
past that. We're not
This
gonna
is
talk
Fun
about
number-
isn't the right word. He
This
gave
is
me
number
crap for it.
3 of 3. So it was a raffle in which there were only 3 available, and I won
Mm.
it. It's crazy. I never do that.
Wow.
It never happens.
The gold
W.
on it is
The
amazing.
gold on it, it's
Yeah.
really, really well done. The
Yeah.
details in the paint on the tail, the fire in the eyes. It's resin, hand painted. Amazing. I love resin pieces so much now. I'm very jealous now. It's going directly to the Steffel. She requested it. It does not. Thanks, Nick. No, it doesn't glow. I don't get glow pieces.
That is an
Thanks. I
excellent
figured somebody's
callback,
gonna
though.
put that up there. Yeah, doesn't glow. But anyway, it's awesome. It's very awesome. You're gonna be very happy with this stuff.
It's really
Very
cool.
happy. I had to show it off. It has a little card here. Number 3 of 3. Fluff Right does great work.
I might have to take some pictures of it before I box it back.
I did not win the crossed version of it, so that'll have to do. So hopefully, what are you gonna do? But it is a nice piece, so I'm gonna try to get the next one for sure. Now my luck, I won't get any more. That'll be the end.
My
Priscilla,
luck
sorry.
goes to other people too, Damien. Don't feel bad.
That's true. You've been doing this is the year of Robbie.
Oh, let me sneak away and grab something real quick.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah. Sorry about that.
It's a nice setup she's got, though.
I know. Much better, man. I got a bunch of toys
It's
back
the
here.
anti-life equation chair.
All right.
Well, I
Yeah,
got
that's
one
right.
of
That's right.
these.
Ooh, there you go.
Let me turn the light off. Super cute.
Ooh.
That is cool. From My Plastic Heart. I saw the unboxing earlier.
Yeah.
I think I had that in the sack.
I think you did too.
Well,
What?
Maybe not that variant, but you've had that figure.
no,
before.
yeah.
I think so.
Wait,
As-
so
because
just to
it was
explain what he's
definitely
saying.
it was definitely asked if it had a booty.
Mm-hmm. Because that's what we
Okay,
ask
yeah.
around here.
Say,
Show the
We
butt.
do tend
Speaking of
to
butts.
find a lot of toys with booties. Yeah,
Yep.
yep, there it is.
There's the butt.
Oh, yep. Fluffer, there you see
Yeah,
it.
this one I have. It's right here. I just can't quite reach it. It's just out of.
You can
Yeah, we do
compare
that.
the
We do have those
butts.
too.
Oh, let
Yeah.
me turn the light.
Yep, I really like that one.
Yeah, the tail on that one's
Nine tails, really well
Mhm.
done. I like the pink
Yep.
and the white, really well done.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta get some more merch there, Chuck. You're missing out on all the Dahlia releases. Been sleeping. Time to get back at it. Quarantine's over. Time to bring back Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. So that's what we got this week. Great stuff. Awesome.
Great. Yay.
All right. So now, I mentioned it before, Priscilla. So you've been a collector for a long time. We've been in the same fanatic groups, same circles, same cons, same everything for years now. I think we must have met you 2016, probably 20, whatever it was. You were on the board, right? You were rookie of the
Yeah.
year for
That
one of the
sounds
first
about
fundraisers.
right.
Yeah.
5
It was our
years? Oh
first
my gosh.
Sundays.
Yeah. Yeah.
We old.
5 years. And I remember my first exposure to you was you were making a ton. I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you had time to do it. You were making a ton of avatar pictures
Mhm.
on the Fanatic forums
Mm-hmm.
for everybody. Like
Their
so
little
many. I had a thread going. It
logos,
was
yeah.
massive.
Yeah.
Then obviously we collected together and we've got to know each other throughout the years. We share a lot of the same friends, etc. And then obviously, we have a lot of your art, whether it be prints or designs, different things that I've had over time. And now you did your own figure. It's resin right now.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yep.
We'll talk more about the details of where you plan to go with it
Mhm.
with Sune. And we'll get there in a
Sune.
second, but I want to talk a lot about, basically your origin story, if you will, like how you got into art. Like, so where did it all start for you? Because obviously you've been an artist for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I started drawing, I think everybody starts drawing like, when you're a kid. But like pretty early on, my parents noticed that I was already drawing, like noticing a lot of details and drawing like perspective, like things that a lot of kids like don't always draw. And this was at like, I think maybe 2 or 3, like, just like as soon as I could hold a crayon pretty much. So my parents started putting me in art classes like at a pretty early age. So I was able to, start learning like quite a bit more. And I just kind of stuck with it, through school. Ended up going to school for fine art and graphic design. So now I have a full-time job.
Was this at high school or college? I know you
actually,
can go to certain high schools.
Yeah,
as well.
I actually took AP art classes in high school.
Okay.
And then, focused more on art and graphic design once I got to college.
Okay.
And then, now I have a full-time job as a graphic designer. And then I'm doing all of this other art stuff on the side as well, conventions, all that. Busy life.
It's insane. I have to say, one of the things that I super impressed with you is how seemingly easy you make it look. I know it's not, but it's just the organization you have toward it, that when you start doing things, just the releases, the communication, everything around it. Just so you know, from the outside of somebody who's dabbling and figuring a lot of that stuff out, knowing, not to say at the same level or anything, but just the process of which it takes. It's very impressive how you keep it all together.
Oh, well, thank you.
For sure.
I mean, I think it helps because we're all collectors too. Like, I feel like we all kind of started as collectors first, so we know what a collector wants and what kind of information they want. So, with that in mind, that's how I try and like proceed with everything, like convention drops and all that exclusives, because I'm like, we've all been there. Like, we know that feeling.
That's true. It certainly helps with that. Like, you can tell, like, on the way you do your con exclusives, you have things that are available, you have things that are LE. You have things that are special to an event never to happen again. I mean, all the stuff that we love and hate.
And hate, yep.
I mean, that's what it is for all of us. It's the same way. Like, if you win the lottery for the Funko line, you're like, oh, thank God I get everything. If you don't, you're like, oh, it sucks. It's only 1,000 pieces.
Yeah, like, get rid of the lottery.
Get rid of the lottery. It's horrible. Oh, and then when you get the lottery, the other person posting like, that was really smooth. That works perfectly.
You should do that every year.
We should do that every year, including picking me.
Right.
Exact same process. Love
That's what keeps it going. But yeah, and you can see that. I mean, and a lot of the stuff that you were doing release-wise were pins for a long time, right? What got you into pins?
Actually, it's kind of funny. I was mostly doing art prints, and that was when I was just starting to get more into the convention scene of Artist Alley, not just attending but actually exhibiting. And there was this one pin manufacturer, even though I wasn't even like making pins, they like hit me up, and every like month or so they would like hit me up again, and they'd be like, so you think about doing pins? And finally I'm like, you know what? Why not? Bugging me. So I'm like, you know what? Yeah. Fine. So I just took some art that like I already had. It was some of the folklore kind of art, like the Kappa, Yuki Onna, those kind of pieces. And, that was a quick conversion of just like, okay, we'll make it into a pin. And then after that, I was like, you know what? This is like kind of fun. I want to try and figure out like what kind of artwork works better for this, because this is like a completely different like media format. It's almost like it's like it has a foot in the 2D world and a foot in the 3D world. So it was just kind of a new challenge, and for me that's fun to try and figure it out. It's almost like a puzzle or something. So that's what got me into pins. And then I mean, I've just been having so much fun with it that I haven't really stopped. So yeah.
No, they're very creative. I love the art stuff. I think one of the first things that I probably purchased where you were making like your art variations of Pokemon characters for a while there on the print side of things. I don't think you had pins on it. I don't remember that. I don't know if you've done those as pins, but certainly as the prints. And then I love the creativity of the pins. I've gotten quite a few of those. It's like funny, over time I go buy one thing, and again, it's been 5 years, right? So it's not like you add it up. And I was going through some of the stuff I have, because I have this big, I wish I was organized in the sense that I wish I could find a way of displaying things as fast as I acquire them. I seem to be really good at the acquisition side of things, like really good at that. And I'm getting really good at breaking down boxes and recycling them.
I can confirm all
Crush
of this.
that breakdown.
Oh yeah, I got the breakdown real fast. Like
at least once a week, those boxes go out.
Separate packing materials from boxes, from inserts. This is trash. This is cake. Yeah. Anyway, and then, but I was going through. I have this huge box of pins because I just keep getting a lot of pins for different things, whether it be conventions or whatever. I mean, I'm like, I got quite a few pieces of your stuff. They're always well done. And then the Sune, when it came in, we'll talk about kind of the origin of that going forward. Just again, it shows your attention to detail on the way. Your backer cards, your business cards, your print, the way you pack the merchandise, the story card that the Sune comes with, like the little story and the behind it. It's really cool. Really nice touches.
Oh, thank you.
And you can see the art. You're using like all aspects of an advantage you have is all the different art experiences you have all the way up to Sune. You can see every step that it builds on itself is, I guess, where I'm going, not to stumble over my words.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it almost felt like a transition of going from 2D to 3D, where it starts with art prints, which are completely 2D, and then pins, which are kind of a little bit of both, and then going like full 3D with the figures. And yeah, you're absolutely correct, because I think being a graphic designer has helped a lot, like being able to design those authentication kind of cards, and just everything else that kind of goes along with it, like even the NFTs and stuff. Like just having that background in graphic design has helped a lot, and that's kind of where I started originally. So yeah, totally.
Because a lot of artists are lacking. Like not everybody does everything. And I'm sure if when we talked to the full production part of Sune, I'm sure you had help all the way to different aspects of it.
Mhm.
But yeah, being able to have that graphic design background really lends itself to doing the NFTs. Like, there's a lot of toy designers who are not going to be able to do that as easily. Like,
Yeah.
or it would be very obvious. So, be like my stick figure Dahlias. Like, here you go, everybody. Because we don't
Stick
probably
figure
last.
Dahlia.
You never know.
Christina.
Anyway, but that really helps us out for the packaging, to the material. So you got everything taken care of, and obviously, the original design, you're able to really kind of take that inspiration and turn it into an object, and then obviously work with other people to I know we both work with Being Large, who we've had on here before on the casting mold making side, right?
A few weeks ago.
Yeah, she was on a few weeks ago, right? She was on here talking about, and she was talking about the Sune piece and how she had to do the venting and how the little intricate details and all the pouring. And then I see your pictures of like hundreds of them. Like, oh my goodness, you guys are on fire there. So
yeah, I caught that, the VOD or VOD, however you say it. I caught that later, and it just like that interview you guys had with her gave me like a whole new appreciation for the production side, because I knew there was like a lot involved, but I didn't know all the intricacies and like everything that you guys talked about. It was like, dang, that is a completely different art form, of itself.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And it takes a lot of help. I mean, I've done enough of it
That's why
to
we
really
outsource.
appreciate how valuable it is to pay somebody to do it.
Yeah.
So, look, and I don't even want to ask the price. Just tell me what it is. So that's like whatever it is. I'm not going to negotiate this because it is tough work. And I kind of do that. I'm married to an artist, right? So I can understand that whole aspect. I'm not negotiating with an artist because I know how much work and time goes into it, and it gets the community can be a little bit ridiculous. It doesn't understand what it takes. Sure, we have all of us have those experiences, but. So all the things you can do, we're all in quarantine. You're already busy. You got a full-time job. You're already making pins. You're doing art prints. You're doing art things on the side. Where did the inspiration of Sune come from?
I mean, I think it probably just stemmed from like the folklore. I mean, actually, if we're going to go all the way back, if we want to spill some tea here, because we all love tea. I love tea. So it all kind of started. I did the Pokemon, which you mentioned, but I did get a cease and desist, like full disclosure, and that sucked. It happened, I think, 1 week or 2 weeks before Designer Con. And it was the horrible timing because that was like so much of my artwork was that. So I was like, oh my God, like, what do I do? So from then on, I was like, I cannot have like all my eggs in one like fan art basket. I did have some anime pieces, but I'm like, I need to make sure like my long-term plan was to do original characters eventually, but I wanted to like kind of, get my con start doing fan art because that's what people love. But that kind of just like jump started it like way faster. So I'm like, okay. And like, I need to just focus on that. And eventually I started just like, loving that so much that I kind of stopped doing fan art. Like I still have some like anime prints that I might bring to conventions, but like, yeah, then it went full on just like original characters, all based on like Asian folklore, which is just like really interesting to me. So I started doing that, and then, just kind of going on that theme, with Sune, like its name is derivative from Kitsune, which actually, we were showing off these guys. I think actually, well, the Nine Tails is actually like the Japanese name is Kitsune. So, that's just like a character I love. I've done like a couple of art pieces already with different like foxes and Kitsune. So, when I was doing a bunch of pencil sketches, trying to like explore ideas and figure out what I wanted to even do, that was one that I kept like kind of going back to. And it took a bit because like the 3D world is just so different, than the 2D world, and trying to think about like wanting to maybe keep it clean so I can do different variations, which I mean I know you guys are probably aware of because like you went through the same process.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we found good. I mean, we had an idea. I mean, going back to your cease and desist story, I actually think that's a badge of honor.
That's what some people said. Yeah.
Well, it is, because if you're a nobody, you don't get those. You have to get noticed to get a cease and desist. They have to worry that you're making money
and
doing
your product has to be noticeably like
good.
accurate.
Yeah.
Like,
like like my pencils, my stick figure versions, they don't get a cease and desist. Like nobody cares. Right? Like, yeah, good luck selling that, and let me know how it goes. But I do think that cease and desist in this industry means something, because I've walked Artist Alley, and the crap that I've never understood what IP means when I walk through Artist Alley. Like I don't understand what the rules are.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Right.
Absolutely. I've never been able to figure out artist interpretation and what that meant, because it seems like most of the stuff in Artist Alley is complete IP violation.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gray area, and I actually, I did a lot of research after that, and I learned a lot. There are some things, like if you're selling physically in an Artist Alley, you have a little bit of a layer of protection. Like Funimation actually flat out said, like, if you're selling an Artist Alley at a table and you're not mass producing it and you're not using our logo and you're not tracing the artwork, then that's fine. We will look the other way. But at the same convention, if they're there and you're in the exhibitor side, not Artist Alley, then boom, you are opening yourself up. You will have one of their people come over and hand a paper to you and say, like, you need to take.
They have to do that. I mean, they have, just like you would with Sune now. When you think about it, you wouldn't want people making fan art at a grand scale. I mean, okay, maybe you want fan art, like, oh, that's cute, thank you very much, you drew that picture. But you don't want, like, oh, here's my picture, what do you think of it? Oh, it's beautiful, great, you can get it online for $9.99. No, you don't want that. And so there's got to be that fine line with art. Yeah, it has to be very contained. Like you have to be at a con and only foot traffic and not online, and it's got to be easier and easier for people to mass distribute and push that. And I know people push the gray area.
Right, because I would imagine if Funimation went and looked up one of those artists in Artist Alley and they were selling the same thing or similar things on an online shop, like an Etsy shop or whatever, they would probably send a cease and desist as well, because that's an unlimited amount, right? You don't know how many they're selling.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Robbie's chat.
I know.
Sorry.
Yes. Thanks, Robbie.
They're totally off topic.
Way to respect
Chuck is being a bad influence over there.
Yeah, that's Chuck there.
Anyway, but yes, I would imagine if they found out that a similar type of thing was happening on an online store, then this would be more readily handed out.
And you actually hear about it. Like there's waves. It usually happens in waves, like, let's say Demon Slayer that just came out with their movie. Whenever they come out with something new like that, you can kind of expect a wave of cease and desist. And we see it in the Artist Alley community, because they start talking and they're like, I just got this, and it's like 50 more people like, I got it too.
Because they want to sell their own merch.
Yeah, especially when something's
advantage of their popularity and their investment, right? That's probably I saw that with Motu. Masters of the Universe did that. They pulled back all their licenses all of a sudden out of nowhere, because they were starting to do this reemergence of stuff. Even Funko lost the license for a little bit before they renewed it. And then I think there are a couple things. One, I think they were selling it for too low at first, and I think now the prices are much higher. So there's two ways of doing it for officially licensed merch. And then they were sending a lot of cease and desist to fan arts as well during the time, even though they haven't come out with anything. They just promised stuff. I guess they just started selling a lot all of a sudden. A bunch of mid 40-year-old people buy a lot of Motu, like me. And so I think that's it. But I do stand by I think it's a badge of honor. That means you do good work, and you did enough to get their eye, which means that you had a presence. Because if you're not one of those things, you're not going to get a cease and desist. So there you go. Yeah. That's a compliment there. Oh, I think it does suck though at the time, because you get it, it's scary. We've got one before. Right?
I thought I was going to pee my pants.
Yeah, we got one before. We're like, oh my god, I feel terrible. Is this going to end? What do I need to do? How do I need to? Oh, and then you start thinking practically, like, well, crap, I was just about to do this thing, and I had all this stuff. And
like designer plans. Are they going to sue me? Like, what's going to happen?
Right.
When that happened to you, Priscilla, how did you pivot quickly with Geek being 2 weeks out?
Oh gosh, I ended up buying a whole bunch of picture frames and doing like different arts, like original characters and fan art, and I drew like on top of the glass and put like some pictures like behind it to try and make like almost like a little original art piece, and I was able to knock those out pretty quickly. I also had some new pieces, some new Pokemon pieces that I was going to release, but then suddenly I couldn't, so I actually just used the same background and drew my own original characters and just slapped it on top of there and was like, printer, can you please print this out very quickly? And there was actually a printer that was going to be at Designer Con, and I picked it up from them. Like, I was like, here's my files. Can I pick this up, like, before the con starts? And they said, sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy. Although there's a saying that I always have to help my team. I'm ever the optimist with my group. Like there's always opportunity in crisis.
Yeah.
Always opportunity in crisis, and you keep that. So I mean, if you think about it, if that hadn't happened, then you wouldn't have pivoted. It wouldn't force you to think about, okay, how can I still do this and not get a cease and desist?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I need to do my org characters. Oh, I like this. Oh, let me develop this. Oh, let me make a figure. Oh, and then Sune comes around, right? So without that happening, that event, which is pretty cool if you think about the story of, Sune and Valor and Vellum, that's a pretty awesome now event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Looking back now, it's like, that's great. Like, because it did jumpstart the original characters. But at the time, I was like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah. At the time, you're like, I got this freaking booth I'm paying for. Damn it. You got to show up with something. Yeah, absolutely. That's funny. That's a great story of like, okay, well, you suck it up and you figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And probably nobody even knew,
There was actually another vendor at DesignerCon that received a cease and desist too, because I talked to some of my friends who were also exhibiting about it, like, what do I do? And they're like, oh, our other friend got a letter too, and he just backed out of the con entirely. Like 2 weeks before, he was just like, I can't, like, what do I do? I can't do it.
There's like a business book here. The Tale of Two Answers, right? Like that person doesn't have his own toy right now. I'm just saying. Like that person's stealing somebody else's IP right now. Let me go find somebody else I can get away with until I get a cease and desist.
Wow.
Just kidding. They might be great people. I have no idea. Some people do that. I've seen some people ignore the cease and desist and just keep going.
Yeah, I know people personally that changed their company name. Like they just deleted the accounts and abandoned it and made a new name and started.
Like, that was Bob. Like that's McDowell's.
That wasn't me.
McDowell's.
That company doesn't sell it anymore. This is a new company. That's funny. That's sketchy. But I've seen where they just keep passing the buck. Now, yeah, I've seen that. Like,
Sunique one's asking if it was Pasadena or Anaheim. It was Anaheim. It was 2019 when that happened. End of 2019.
That would have been the last in person.
It was the last real life one.
Last in person decon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I remember your booth there. Mm-hmm. We were there, and Jason Rowe was there. That was the last decon in person that we all were able to go to.
Yeah. I remember running into you guys. I think before the con started.
And we actually had the very first Dahlia release there.
Oh,
sort of.
Very small.
10.
It was like 10 pieces.
10.
I still need to get a Dahlia.
Well, we'll work out a trade. We need some more Sunes. Maybe we could do something on the site.
Do a trade?
Yeah, we'll do a trade. We can do a trade.
I would be down.
Schlo has told us all the time about artists, benefits, and like we got to do a better job at that.
Apparently, we do this all wrong.
That's actually a thing in Artist Alley. People will actually wait until the convention's over and then do a big trade-off. Like just go up and down, almost like shopping, and like whatever you want, you trade for.
Yeah, that's what we got to do.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
So yeah, Jason says that's when he met Priscilla for the first time in person.
Oh
Fancer's flexing over here. Hey, Fancer, I have one, just so you know, and I had to go about it the honest way. Okay, I went online, waited, and hit that checkout button real fast.
I'm not fast enough. I do not have one.
So anyway, yeah, it was a great con. I remember, Jason was having the Bearleys there, and this is back for those of you that collect Bearleys. Like you could just walk up and buy a nice bear. Yeah, no problem. You're right there. Yeah, see, Vance, that's what we gotta do. We talked about this, Eric. We talked about that. We'll do something. We're gonna be at we won't have a booth for the decon. It's way too fast, way too soon, and I know it's taking care of a lot of people. Everything just snuck up on us, but we'll be there in person for sure. So we'll find our way. And my saying is, if nothing great happens if I don't show up, so I always show up.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have some dahlias in my backpack at our hotel room.
There you go. Wait, what's your room number?
Where's the Dahlia booth? Well, it's at the Marriott. 4-3.
I'll just slide some money under the door.
Yep. I remember
Suite 25.
Stealing out of the hotel room.
Like a big map. Like we just like staple a bottom to the official con map, like walking directions.
Make a little sign and put it on the door.
Uber directions.
Here.
We'll set up shop in like the executive lounge at the Marriott.
There
in
you
the
go.
back corner.
We'll have our own little convention.
Get
We use
yourself
that
a
all the
cookie
time.
while you're there.
We did our first podcast with Reese there that way in the hotel. It's funny.
Really?
Yeah.
It was at
So that was San Diego
right?
Comic Con
Yeah.
now. San Diego Comic Con, but same thing. We just commandeered a corner of the. If you listen closely, you can hear everybody getting their free coffee and toast and clanking. People talking about their con day plan for the day.
It
That's
worked
really
out
funny.
pretty well because it wasn't during one of the actual service hours.
That's true. It was a
Oh,
little,
that's
better
good.
than that. Yeah,
Good.
it was hilarious. So all right, so that's a great story. I love that story. Now you're like, okay, I'm gonna do original characters, and you have Sune, and I understand the inspiration of it. And so then you have a decision of making it, and then you went the Kickstarter route. Tell us a little bit about that decision process and that process in general.
So Kickstarter was actually for Eda bags and a set of pins. So
That's
it was
right, your first one, yeah.
completely different. Yeah, this was in December.
Mhm.
But I kind of had this idea in my mind, like the back of my mind, that like if I raise a certain amount via Kickstarter, then I'm going to use some of that money instead of just having profit and Scrooge McDucking it or something. I'm gonna take this money and maybe try and do my first toy. So I was really happy. I'm still so grateful to everybody who supported that, because we did raise enough not only for the Eda bags and the pins, but for me to be able to afford the mold fee is of course, as you guys know, the mold fee is so expensive and everything costs money for it. There's so many different costs involved with it. So if it weren't for the Eda bag Kickstarter, there's no way I could have just afforded to do this on my own.
Okay.
So it ended up being almost like a secret Kickstarter that the backers didn't even know about. And because of that, just as a thank you, I tried to do a Kickstarter backer only pre-order. And I called them the Founder Sunes, and they actually all just went out. They went out yesterday, half of them yesterday and half of them today. They went, I saw the mailman pick them up. So I did those, and I tried to, price them as low as I could, just as a thank you to everybody who unknowingly supported another dream of mine and making it a reality.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a cool
Sneaky
story. I mean, so
Kickstarter.
it
I like
does.
it.
I mean, people don't realize the fees involved. And again, not everybody, maybe there's some people out there that can make the toy from idea to production, but most people don't have all those skills along the way, right? I mean, you're talking, yes, you can have a concept, you could draw the concept, you have your graphic design background, so you can bring it a lot further than other people can. There's plenty of toy designers that don't have the graphic design background, right? They may be graffiti artists, or they may be whatever, or they're physical art. Like Christina's had a graphic design, but she's a molder painter, right? Sculptor painter. And then you got to get to the point where it's okay, well, I want to turn this into a toy. What does that mean? Well, now you got to get a 3D design. Now you're talking about 3D printing. You're talking about mold making off of those. You have to get the 3D print clean enough to make a mold, or else every imperfection is in your every product, which means you're going to work 40 times longer on every single piece you put in place. And now you got to do the mold pieces, and you got the material for making the mold, and then material for casting all these things and all the different variants. And then you got to paint them all. So, first you got to sand them forever.
Right.
You got to sand them all down. Then you got to paint them. Then you got the packaging and the production and the ship. It's a ton.
And then your mold breaks.
And then your mold breaks down.
I kept going on Amazon buying more and more stuff that I did not even know that I was going to need for this. I'm like, I need a Dremel now. I need I need sandpaper. I need needle files. What's all I need canned air. Why do I need all this stuff?
You should see our dining room. It's ridiculous. I have shelves just full of stuff. I don't even know how stuff I get. I think I might need that. Okay. I love buying. We now have to switch to a degasser and a pressure pot, and there's a ton of stuff.
Because I broke my master.
Yeah, we have a master dahlia mold that we put under a pressure pot, and it crushed it.
I cracked the back of her head.
Yeah, I don't even want to know the cost of mistakes in this process. So that's why we drink too. And I got alcohol I got to buy.
Add that to the cost.
I'm telling you.
Gonna incorporate just so we can write off your alcohol consumption.
Oh my god! Right?
I use it for.
Might be worth it just for that.
So, luckily though, that kind of stuff, we have Christina, because she can fix everything. Here, take that. I broke it. I feel like a kid. Here. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Thanks for laughing at us right now.
No, that's not. That's embarrassment for us because we.
Okay, I appreciate that. I'm just keeping it real. We make a ton. There's a ton of mistakes along the way,
Mm.
and every mistake is learning.
Yeah.
It
That
is.
won't happen again. It won't happen again. And we'll get, now we learn that we need to make like 3 or 4 molds at the same time. And
Mm.
because it sucks waiting for one to cure it out.
One at a time. Yeah.
Oh my God. And so I have to ask the question, when you're designing Sune, did you have that process in mind? The toy make process in your design?
Well, I mean, like, I think just like even doing this first one has already been like a big learning experience of like, all the costs involved. And like, if I were to design another piece, like I would have a lot more consideration of like how it's going to affect the mold and the resin, and like, even just like how much sanding I'm going to have to do, how easy it would be to do the sanding, all that stuff. Like I didn't even know before. So I was just like, I'm just going to design something and like, in Illustrator and do it from like all the different sides and see what happens.
Yeah.
And so I actually, I talked to Jason of Barely.
Yep.
He's so kind and so helpful, so generous with like his knowledge and time. So, I hit him up and asked like, how do I even do this? Like, what's the next step I take? And so he actually looked at the 2D design and gave some suggestions, which I incorporated. I had a little bit like too many details in some areas that were not going to work. So I ended up revising it. Yeah. Doing just little revisions. And then he told me who to hit up for the 3D, like the digital sculpt, because, I don't know how to do that. So I was able to hire I Really Love Pixels. That's his name on Instagram. And then he also, Jason told me about Bean too, of course. So, after getting the digital sculpt and then I Really Love Pixels also does the 3D print, but he also does the priming, like he'll prime and sand and do a bunch of layers to get that 3D print looking, pristine. As you said, like you don't want like all those imperfections and flaws of like the lines to show up. So he took care of all of that. And then was able to pass that along to Bean. So that was my process. And yeah, again, like a lot of learning experience with that. And I think if I design something else, I am gonna not do certain things, like this tail. It turns out the little bit right there, just the tip. That is problematic. I did not know that, and now I know. So, just stuff like that.
Yes,
next
it
time.
is. Yeah, I look at that. I would say the same thing. Like, and it's funny because I look at toys, totally different now.
Yep.
Totally different. And I look at Christina like, can you make a one-piece version? Like, can you design something that could be easier to pour?
Can we not do it this way next time? And I'm like
if you think about like a hot dog toy or something, something easy.
There's plenty of those out there, Damien. You're not original. Not original.
Oh, well, that's okay. You don't have to be original. It's got to be creative. But like I look at like dancers, like the horns, and then I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to pour that. Or I look at like even like the the way I showed off before. Like it's just crazy.
You mentioned Vancer. They changed the tail because of that. The tail's tucked in now instead of protruding.
Do I have a new one with the tail? No, I don't have a flat tail.
I don't think I have a flat tail yet either.
I don't. Do I? No, I don't. No, I have to fix that.
Anyway. I'll get a flat tail eventually.
It'll happen.
No denying it.
Maybe, yes. Sack tail, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Does that have a flat tail?
That's right. They're making a sack. I don't know, Priscilla, if you're aware, but you mentioned it, you didn't know. So we have this segment, and we're actually going to turn it into its own show. That's called What's New in Robbie's Sack. And the whole point of it is all we do in that segment is we show off new designer toys. Like what's coming out, what's being released, what you can look out for. Basically, we're enablers. Like if you see the meme, it's like, I'm a hoarder, and all these assholes help me with that.
That's us to a T.
That's us. That's like the description of what it is. So Robbie has a whole show. And just like have your credit card ready, folks, because. So anyway, so he has a logo. And you'll see like one of our icons there is that very so Eric and Chris from Vancer Toys have been awesome since the beginning, and they designed like the little icons for our stream here with the sack, and then he has a whole
3D sculpt.
Yeah, you saw 3D sculpt. That's what it's for. That's
interesting. What is that?
Exactly. People that know the context are like, okay, childish. But there's a reason behind it, right? So yes, but what we're doing with this show is these are the kind of shows we enjoy doing the most. We love talking to artists about art, and we want to take the time to do it, and we don't want to have a 5-hour stream, so we're going to just spin it off into its own thing, like half hour, an hour, I don't know. And it's really going to be sort of like This Week in Designer Toys. Like what's new, what you should care about, what you should be interested in, have you seen this toy or this designer, that kind of stuff. So
awesome.
Anyway, and so that's what the reference is for there. That's
and and a beautiful graphic to boot.
Yeah. We want to make stress balls. That's what
I'm still waiting for the shirt.
Oh, the awesome shirt
we
you're
have
going to, yeah.
a design.
We have
the
the design
for a shirt, and it's amazing because
it's an amazing design
at the bottom of the shirt.
You need to put it.
No, you
Damien,
didn't.
you need to put it
I
on.
didn't do it. That's Fancer. That's who you're working with right
You
there.
need to put those. You need to put those designs we picked on the T Public or whatever.
We just got to get the longer T-shirts. I think is the problem.
I mean, I guess at least they're not shorts.
That's true. That could be worse. Right, Robbie's.
I mean, not yet.
Anyway, let's get back to.
They weren't all down on your crotch. There was another version that wasn't. But that one was.
You don't want that.
I don't need a sack in my lap.
Oh my God.
Personally, I'm good.
You say so.
All right.
Somebody clip that, please.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously, right? Post that around.
Time out on the sack. Back to the Sune.
Back to the Sune, please.
No, I like where this is going, though.
Yeah, this is what we do. It's great. So let's talk about. We have 10 minutes left, so I want to talk about recent Sune releases and what's next, right? So you just mentioned the founders that have just shipped out today. So what are the next opportunities for people to get a Sune?
The next one's actually, I have them right here. It's going to be Comic-Con at home.
Those are so cool, by the way.
Ooh.
My fingers are in the way. Maybe if I go one at a time.
I love food toys.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just always do. I love them, and so I'm a sucker for those. Yeah.
Yeah, the watermelon one is super.
I'm about to try.
So I'm calling these ones the summer fruits Sunes. Oh, you can see it a little bit here. So we've got the strawberry and watermelon. So those are going to be releasing because I actually was fortunate enough to get an artist alley space at Comic-Con. I was actually supposed to get it for 2020, but then coronavirus happened.
Yeah, so whole thing happened there. Yeah.
So I mean, in a way, it's almost been kind of fortunate because, like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get in again. Like, that is, it feels like I was just so lucky to get that. So I don't know if I'll ever have an opportunity like this again. And because of this, they keep rolling us over. So I've been part of the virtual one that it's going to be 2 years now, and then rolled over hopefully to an in real life one next year. But anyway, all that to say, I do have actual Comic-Con exclusives, and I'm going to be announcing something probably Wednesday on my Twitter that's going to have the full lineup, because there are some things I haven't shown yet. So that's coming. And then also I'm going to be on Average Nerd podcast on their stream on Monday evening, and we're going to be announcing something there too. So yeah, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We saw the teaser there. We saw the teaser from Beehive.
Yeah.
And so I know that he's so I'd imagine what it's going to be. So it's going to be exclusive to Beehive. Just draw the lines.
Yeah,
we'll wait until Monday.
Oh man.
Somebody, Gary.
Yes.
Clipped it for you. Yes.
Yes.
Thanks, Gary.
But imagine we'll get some type of Bee-inspired Sune, which will be awesome. But we'll see for sure. Make sure you watch the Average Nerds on Monday, because I will be there to check that out. I'm looking forward to that. And then what are the plans after San Diego Comic-Con? Have you thought past that? You got DCon coming up. You have New York Comic. I don't know if you do anything for New York, but with everything virtual online, you can do anything for anything. So
yeah, I did actually try, just for giggles, I did try signing up for some other Reed Pop shows, and we haven't heard anything back on Emerald City or New York yet. I'm not sure, like, there's so many cons that got pushed to the end of the year that, like, I almost don't know, even if I did get in, if I could even do it, because there's so many conventions, and I'm already taking time off of work for those. But I do have coming up, I got into the virtual Crunchyroll Expo. So I have, it's a black resin figure, and I still need to paint it. Like, these aren't even cleaned up yet. You can see there's like a lot of things hanging off. But yeah, so it's going to be like, that's kind of like a little preview. It's going to be black resin painted for Crunchyroll, and that's beginning of August. End of August may be my first real life convention of this year, since 2020. So it's going to be Silicon with Adam Savage in San Jose. And so I'm going to have these teal glow in the dark Sune figures. Still need to paint these too, but yeah, those are going to be the pieces that are next. And then
what run sizes are all these?
Okay, so for so going back to Comic-Con, for the watermelon, this is going to be LE10, I think. And then for the strawberry, it's going to be LE25.
All right.
The
tough, everybody. It's going to be tough.
The Crunchyroll, I think, is going to be maybe LE10-ish. I'll have to double check. I think LE10 on that one. And then the Silicon is probably going to be LE9. Again, I'll have to count, but yeah, they're all, I learned, like, after doing those founders ones at the same time as doing the Comic-Con ones, at the same time as doing the ones for Av, I'm like, I'm going to do small runs from now on.
Except for you have almost 40 people here all want one.
The problem,
it's just a guess.
I've personally found with larger runs of hand painted stuff is that by the time you're done or halfway done painting them, you're just done.
Yeah,
it's like, I don't want to see this one ever again. Just take it away from me.
Right? True. You of all people would know. Like, you probably learned that lesson a long time ago because you've been doing this for so long.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever for the hand painted dahlias. I don't think I've ever committed to more than like 15 or 20.
That's smart.
It takes a lot, and painting the same thing over and over. It's more robotic than it is fun.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, do you think you'd ever move to vinyl?
It's something, probably like on the back burner right now, because I know, Eric Schlo has actually brought it up before, and he said, like, oh, you should totally do, like, maybe just do a Kickstarter and use that to try and do vinyl. Because, I mean, again, that's going to be more expensive because those mold fees are
They're
joke.
Ridiculous. They're insane, yeah.
Yeah, actually, before I considered resin for Sune, I did actually hit up some factories in China just to get an idea, and I was like, oh, it's China. They probably won't be that bad. It was that bad. It was really bad.
It's ridiculous. And the timing. I mean, I don't know if you talked to Eric, Chris Advancer about their experience. They went to vinyl first.
Yeah, I have some of those pieces.
And so we have an old podcast with them on. I think the first time we had them on, where they went through that whole process as to what it took to get their vinyl made, and then why they went back to resin and what they're doing to build back up. And I think their example would be what you're doing, which is you're building a base, you're building a demand, you're building a fan base, right? So it then warrants the cost of the molds and everything. The only problem as an artist, I would imagine, and Christina and I had this conversation, would be when you hand it over to vinyl, what are you doing with it now? Right?
Well,
it's like, because when you're handing over to vinyl, like, you can get blanks and you can do some of your own one-on-ones, and that's cool. Because I know, like, and I see Jason probably a good example of it. Like, he's got Bim Toy making his vinyls, but he's still doing the resin, so he can get his hands dirty.
Yeah.
And making things, right? Because that's part of the fun of it, right? That's probably the most fun. The most fun for me is seeing, like, Christina create something and then people liking it. Like, and you don't even think about the money part of it anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. That's what you get out of it. Because trust me, you're working full time. It's going to be a long time before you're getting the private jet to the Comic-Con off of making a toy.
Oh my God. And people don't even realize that, because, like, you see designer toys and the price tags, and you're like, wow, that's expensive. They're making bank. No, we're not. Like, I'm breaking even. Maybe
we can't scale it.
if I'm lucky. But yeah, it all just like all the money goes back into making more toys, or or me buying Rado Kim blind boxes. Nobody's getting rich off of this until you get to a certain point.
Somebody somewhere must be.
The problem is when you start thinking of actual time spent making it, like this is not like even having a minimum wage job. Like
no, it's worse than minimum wage for some of these.
It really is.
Like Napoleon Dynamite. He's like, this was like $1 an hour.
That's why I used to get inquiries, because I deal with most of the inquiries because Christina doesn't want to deal with it. So people message it and I'll reach other like, that's a cool price. Can you do it for half? Like, and we'll post it on Instagram. Like, no, thank you. It's fine. I don't care. Like, if I wanted to make money and get exposure, like I will just go pay for advertising.
That is ballsy to do that.
People do it.
I have had people ask me for stuff to be like given to them so that they can promote it, and I'm like,
oh my gosh.
Like, no, it's cool. We're fine. We're fine.
I'm good. I'll go.
Like we can sell 15 without your help. It's cool.
Well, and your stuff sells so quickly too. Like you don't even need that help. Like it's already sold out in 30 seconds.
Thing, right? That's the fine balance. It's like, and I understand where Christina is coming from, because with designer toys, and the reason why they're expensive, we just mentioned a bunch of it. The time, but you can't scale it. People aren't buying this piece because it's just, again, not like okay, these are mass manufactured, and you get what you pay for it. $10, you get flaws, you get whatever. They make tens of thousands of them, right? And that's fine. And the problem is a lot of people come from that market that then get into designer toys, and then they're like, what the hell? Everything should cost $10 and I should be able to sell it for $40. What are you talking about? That's the world they come from. But the money part of it, you can't scale it. Like you said, you're going to make 10, or Christina's going to make 15 or 10. You're hand painting these things. Like you're hand making every one of them. You're not getting like all your, like you can't manufacture that talent. You can't just be like, well, I'm going to go with my whole family. We're going to do a lineup over, dinner, and we're all going to paint. No, it'll be pretty obvious. Like, trust me. All of a sudden, there's a 20-piece run of Dahlia, and I painted half of them. Some people get pretty upset.
Like, oh, I got the Damien one.
We'll make Damien paint 5 out of every 20.
Yeah, like we'll sell it as a
chase.
Or something.
As in, you want to chase it away from you because it's awful.
We'll call it like the Salvador Dali,
Salvador Dahlia.
Chase.
You need a Sherman Williams or just scroll paint.
Sideways.
I like that, Kristen. That was good.
Yeah, you don't want that. Nobody wants that. Trust me. You'll know.
I'd like to see it. I would like to see it.
You should see it. It'll be like a school project.
Damien he downplays himself. He's not that bad.
He's still bad. He's just not that bad.
No, I mean he makes it sound like he could like not do anything. He could make a passable custom if he wanted to.
Maybe. I don't know. But anyway.
Your problem is more that you would get frustrated before you're done.
My point is, it doesn't matter how well I do it. It still wouldn't be Christina's. That's my point.
What are the $10 Dahlias dropping?
It'd be different if you're like Dahlia, and then I was selling like, I don't know, a different brand. Like, what's this new line you came up with?
Yours can be Daria.
Daria. They're cheaper. Why are they half price? Oh, I know why. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see it now.
Diarrhea Daria.
Diarrhea. Thanks, Chuck. Anyway, I say all that. My point is, like, that's the thing. There's a limit to how much you can do. And so you're only going to get 20 pieces. You're only going to get 10 pieces, and it's a lot of time to do it. And it's worth every dollar anybody asks. As a matter of fact, I think what you're doing is you're selling it too cheap. And we've had that problem for a long time, because you also feel like, I don't know, I'm just putting words in your mouth. You also, like you mentioned before, you're trying to keep the price down because you are selling to a lot of friends. You are selling to people that you know. And so you're like, oh, I don't want to feel like, no, you got to get what it's worth for your time and everything like that to make it worth your time. And I don't think anybody because that, but it takes a lot to get to that point. You spend a lot of money just to get to the point for that first Sune.
Yeah. And actually, I am probably going to raise the prices from like the WonderCon prices, just because like these ones did take a little longer. But yeah, like, pricing is something like I think we all struggle with, because it's like it's easier to find the value in friends' pieces and other people's pieces. But your own, you always kind of devalue it just a little bit. And not only that, I just feel like, obviously I am nowhere near Christina's level as far as like customizing and painting goes. So I feel like I still have so much to learn that I don't feel right pricing it like so high just yet. Because I feel like, Sunes in, let's say, 2022 are probably going to be a lot better than the ones that in 2021, just because like I'm still
Well, you're gonna get better.
I'm learning.
You're gonna learn. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a baby right now. So
yeah, I mean that's normal.
You guys also, as Damien mentioned, come from the Funko world where you do get the $10 one, and
Right.
it's in your head already. I get that.
True.
And
Yep.
yeah, you both are absolutely right, and could charge more. Should charge more. People would still buy it, especially since everybody's gotten better.
It's a tough line. Like I've struggled. I've said it over and over and over again. I've always struggled with pricing, because you don't want to undervalue your work, but you also want to make sure that you're not sitting on a bunch of stuff that people don't want to buy because of the price.
Yeah.
So you want it to sell quickly, but not also think, damn, I should have charged another $5 or $10 or whatever, because there's desire or demand. So it's tough. It's a tough one.
Especially for you, Christina, because like you do so many of those shows and there's that added layer of like the house taking a cut. So then that just throws like a whole nother like variable in it.
I do typically charge. Those ones have been really hard for me too, because they're one-offs and they're not my platform a lot of the time. And it's like, I have no idea what people actually buy custom techs and these other things for. I mean, I have a little bit of a better idea now, but yeah, it's been very difficult, and you always have to sort of inflate it a little bit more than you normally would, because
well,
the house is taking 40% minimum. I mean, that's a minimum
or more. Yeah.
Or more, depending on the show and the name brand. Like in some places you're dealing with people like Martian Toys, and even when you're doing like you've kept Sune pretty much in-house this whole time. You're doing your first collaboration that we'll see on Monday with Av, although you're friends, so it's probably a different a little bit favorable arrangement there. But when you start going to other retailers, like we've been approached by a lot of retailers, and there's a blessing and a curse there, right? The blessing is you do want to get your product exposed to more people than that know you already. Right in your circles, because or Martian Toys, like we're we do a show at Martian Toys. They already have a huge install base of customers that then may not buy that drop, but they'll see it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then they'll be like, "Oh, that's cool. Let me go check that out. I want the next one." And we've seen over time, like
do the one-off shows is just because they have a completely different audience, and if you get 5 or 10 people that click over to your page and you end up with new followers, it's sort of worth it in the long run.
Right.
No, it's true. It's like, and we've seen like from doing Martian Toys and Smile World and other places over time that the first release, like we know every single person that bought it. You know what I mean? You just do. But then we're seeing now, like, we're all in our little chats, right, with a bunch of people and stuff like that, and we'll sell out really fast. Like I think Smile World last time was less than a minute. It sold out the whole run, and it's like, well, that's fun. And then you're like, all right, thanks, guys. Everybody. And they're like, we missed. What are you talking about? Like holy crap, like we didn't, and you're like, oh, and then we get the list of people who got it, like, oh, I don't know half these people. That's great.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like way more. I mean, like, of course, like friends, like the support means everything, but when you see like those names that you don't recognize, and it's kind of like almost not a bigger compliment, but a different compliment where it's like, oh, so that means they actually like my work.
Right.
That's true.
Sure.
Funny you say that, right? When
you don't even
in reality,
know
your friends really like your work, but I totally get it. It's like I would tell Christina, it's like, yeah, well, my mom tells me I'm a great guy,
Yeah, exactly. Right.
we expect Robbie to like.
We expect Robbie to love it. You know what I mean? Like, of course, that doesn't devalue. We love that Robbie loves what we do, and we love all that stuff. But I totally understand what you're saying, Priscilla. You're absolutely right. That is definitely it does weigh in, and it's also just as what we've seen in the community too. When another artist gets a piece, it's like, oh, well, they know what they're looking at. You get a piece, because you look at it differently, and it's a different type of. Well, we went over on time. We're 10 minutes over. It goes by so fast.
Yeah,
I know I say it every week.
Oops. STS guys are definitely live.
They're definitely live. What are they talking about today?
I imagine Loki. I don't know.
Probably.
Doesn't. It says special guest.
Oh, cool. Well, we better go.
They have Mike from Talking Pops on, so I bet they're Talking Pops.
Probably talking pops. There we go.
There you go.
Which we've done many times. Well, Priscilla, look, I don't want to hold you up any longer. You were very busy, and thank you for your time already. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Learned a lot. It's really, really helps appreciate everything you've gone through there. Looking forward to working with you in the future, hopefully in some capacity. We do want to say, and I hate to put you on the spot, we are, for everybody that's on this show, we're getting a bunch of Dahlia blinks made, and we'd love to send you a couple.
Oh my gosh.
We have an idea of doing some type of show of collaboration of people that we've met with through all this journey, friends that we've made and other artists taking their own take on a Dahlia. So we'd love for you to take part in that. Obviously, you're busy.
Such a huge honor. Thank you for even thinking that.
Yeah, no, we love it. We love your work and and everybody we've had on. And so next week, actually, I do want to make sure everybody's here. Listen, we are going to have we have a special guest next week. Again, we're going to keep we started this just for summer, but I think now we're going to be into November.
Oh wow!
Doing nothing but artist interviews at this point. So it's really cool. Without a repeat, actually, it's pretty crazy. Next week we have Reese O'Brien on.
Oh. Wow.
Also, next week, really important. We weren't able to take part in it because the schedules didn't align, but we are going to be supporting the Rise Up API fundraiser, who's streaming on Saturday and Sunday next weekend. There's basically a big readathon going on. It's the end of Saturday is the same time as our show, which is why it didn't work out because that was where the end was. But we really want to help support them. We will be providing some giveaways to that event, as well as our own participation in our own way we can. Definitely want to hop over there on Saturday all day to support it. We'll be retweeting all the schedules and everything as we see them. And then please join us. Open up 2 tabs, support them. But you definitely want to hang out with Reese as well next week at 7 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to be talking. There's a lot to talk about there. He's doing a lot of new cool stuff with Tiny Ghosts, a lot of new molds that Barely's been working on them with, and a lot of interesting things. So I'm looking forward to. He's the worst secret keeper too. So trust me, we can pull something out. Having Reese on to tell dad jokes. Well, maybe he does.
I'm sure one or two will come up. Don't worry.
I'm sure 1 or 2 will come up. But anyway, thank you again, Priscilla. It's been great. I really look forward to Monday's show and seeing the reveal with Beehive.
Yes.
And looking forward to trying to buy the Comic-Con releases. So it's very exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing all the new releases.
Hey, real quick, Priscilla, plug your shops.
My
yes,
shop?
please. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have my Etsy shop, which has all of my prints, my art prints, and my pins. And then I have a separate Shopify for anything that's Sune. I actually just dropped some lanyards and backpacks, which I think, Damien, I think you picked up one of those.
I did. I got a backpack today. Yeah.
So I have that on my Shopify right now. And Shopify is going to be where I'm doing all of the figure releases as well. So definitely have that bookmarked if you're interested in like the Comic-Con exclusives or anything else Sune.
I don't want to miss out when I go to your booth at the cons in the future with my Sune backpack that I get something, like, hey.
Gotta put something in it, right?
That's where I put all the Sunes in. Exactly. Yeah, it'd be great.
Your Sune sack?
Sune
Oh, Sune sack.
All right.
I like it.
And starting next Saturday, we'll figure it out. Saturday, before our show, we will post the details. We will be having the Robbie Sack show next Saturday. Robbie will have it's been a few weeks, so he's got a lot of stuff to talk about. He's got to get a lot out of there.
It's a swelling sack.
God.
It's a lot of sold out things.
We'll have new stuff
Obviously.
though. There's new stuff. We'll have
I'll have new stuff.
Comic-Con stuff to start. A lot of Comic-Con stuff will be starting to be revealed here soon.
Are you going to put the new stuff on the top or on the bottom?
It's a good question.
Maybe you'll do a rapid fire. Do a rapid fire disappointment.
So,
Like rapid fire, like here's this sold out. Here's this sold out. Here's this. Sorry, sucker. Sorry.
While we're raiding over to STS, I did want to show an awesome one, real quick.
Okay.
Though. It is
sold out.
I don't think so. It's a toy based off of cactuses. It's really cool.
Oh God.
I think you guys will really like it.
I know exactly what this is.
Oh my goodness.
Really cool cactus toys.
I'm the one
Here.
that showed it.
So we got some
And there it is.
banana cats. I really like these cactuses. They're done so well. This one has a flower on the top. See that white flower? I really like the white flower there.
Oh man.
And the banana here.
They're
banana
actually
plant.
super tiny, like they're little charm size. Yeah,
It's really
Can't wait till
nice.
the
Yeah,
store
look at the
edition.
hands. Yeah, you have to look at the
But then
hands.
there's also
They're really big
these
hands.
ones right here.
Oh, look at there's a
Yeah.
back massager.
We got some close-ups here. A back massager plant right there. Really nice plants though. If you like plant toys, check this out. This is Simon Says Macy on Instagram.
Hey, there you go. Happy for. Can you guys whisper me the link asking for a friend? Yeah, of course.
So,
For
so
Jen.
beautiful,
Super Jen, my eyes.
beautiful toys. Beautiful
All right,
toys.
so everybody. Hey, this is
Very
the
well
quality
done.
content you're going to get next Saturday.
Yep.
Hour early. All right, I'm kicking off the raid SDS, guys. Everybody, thank you for joining us. We went late. Well, Chuck, that's for your new show, Freak Together.
Freak together. Brown, chicka, brown, brown.
Thanks a lot, everyone. Thank you again, Priscilla. On that note, can't end the show a better way. So
Thank you,
Next week.
Gary, for linking that.
And we're seeing.